Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Wisconsin Transportation Secretary Craig Thompson, and with me today is Kristina Boardman, Administrator of the Division of Motor Vehicles. As you know, since the COVID-19 pandemic required that we all practice social distancing, the DMV has taken steps to continue providing vital services to Wisconsin motorists while limiting the exposure of our employees and the public to the virus. Those steps included limiting in-person visits at DMV offices and encouraging the use of online services to perform most vehicle-related tasks, such as renewing registrations, ordering license plates, and so on. We also instituted 60-day grace periods for individuals who needed to renew their licenses during the public health emergency. While these measures have helped keep Wisconsin citizens safe, they have created some challenges for the DMV and its customers. Thousands of Wisconsin driver's licenses expire each day, resulting in a backlog of about 80,000 licenses that need renewal. Another impact has been the inability of our youngest drivers to take the road tests necessary to obtain a permanent driver's license. DMV currently has a backlog of more than 10,000 young people in Wisconsin who are waiting to get their licenses. We've heard from many parents who are anxious for their children to become drivers. Today, we're announcing two innovative pilot programs designed to meet these customer demands in the wake of the COVID-19 public health emergency. Beginning Monday, May 11th, eligible drivers whose licenses have expired may renew them online, and teens who have completed required driver training may have their road test waived. Both pilot programs eliminate the need for in-person visits at a DMV by enabling motorists to complete the tasks online. I'd like to underline some important elements of these new programs. First, those eligible to have the road test waived will still have to meet the commitment of driver education classes, complete behind-the-wheel training and practice, and have permission from a parent or guardian. This represents hours of education and practice. Wisconsin also has a graduated driver's license law that places strict expectations on drivers under 18. These have improved safety and will remain in place. Due to the requirements of obtaining a license, we are confident that this provision will not compromise safety. DMV reports that 98% of drivers under 18 pass the road tests on their first or second attempt. This shows that Wisconsin's requirements for driver education and training result in competent young drivers. Other states instituted a road test waiver years ago without experiencing safety issues. Let me emphasize that the road test is not going away. It is still required for many, and it is an option for everyone. I know a young person's road test is a big ritual in life and can be a memorable day. This is not about taking that experience away for those who want it. It's about government being responsive to real needs. If you are not in a rush to get your license, or if you're a parent or guardian who has been doing the required 30 hours of practice with someone learning to drive, and you think that they need the test, you'll still be able to schedule a road test. We must be responsive, though, and provide for families who are counting on driver's licenses to make their situations work. We also want to minimize in-person exposure and give as many people as possible the ability to avoid a trip to the DMV. Regarding online license renewals, individuals eligible for this service are U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 65 that hold an unrestricted Wisconsin driver's license, who have not had a change in vision, and who do not need a real ID. The Division of Motor Vehicles has the statutory authority to make these moves, which will minimize exposure and give families flexibility and basic transportation options in an extraordinarily difficult time. I'm proud that the DMV has been at the forefront of making changes to protect the public and our associates during the public health emergency, while continuing to provide vital public services. These pilot programs represent innovative solutions to help Wisconsin move beyond the impacts of the pandemic. I encourage everyone to visit the Wisconsin DMV website for more information. And now, to share more details on these pilot programs, here is DMV Administrator Kristina Boardman.
COVID-19 has had a significant impact on DMV's ability to serve our customers. Our DMV service centers are used to seeing more than 40,000 customers per week. While COVID-19 required us to significantly adjust our in-person operations, we have remained busy behind the scenes answering calls and emails, offering temporary extensions, and processing all mailed-in work. We have also spent this time exploring how we can adjust DMV business alternatives to provide additional online flexibility without compromising highway safety for the protection of both customers and employees. As Secretary Thompson indicated, the first program we're announcing today is an online road test waiver. We know this is a rite of passage, but because of the training requirements that are in place for drivers under the age of 18, nearly 98% of these drivers pass their road test on the first or second try. This tells us the training is effective, and they are prepared to drive safely. Part of this training process is the requirement for parents or sponsors to spend at least 30 hours in the car with the permit holder over the course of 6 months. Because of our ongoing partnership with parents and sponsors and what should be covered during these hours of practice, we feel they are in an excellent position to assess their teens' readiness for independent driving. Additionally, when a teen receives their probationary license, they have at least 9 months of additional graduated driving restrictions. Wisconsin implemented the Graduated Driver License, or GDL, in 2000, and these additional restrictions have been hugely successful in decreasing crash rates of teen drivers by reducing in-car distractions. Therefore, with the training curriculum we have in place, the required hours of practice driving with an instructor, and a parent or sponsor, the longer-term GDL restrictions, and the demonstrated pass rates of these new drivers, we are comfortable foregoing the 15-minute test to drive if the parent is comfortable. That being said, if the parent does not agree to waiving the test, the schedules will be open beginning this Friday for booking an appointment. We will have additional protective measures in place for that test, but otherwise it will be business as usual. The second program we're discussing is the online driver license renewals. Each week, approximately 10,000 driver licenses expire, and during the COVID-19 emergency, DMV provided temporary extensions to approximately 80,000 people whose driver license expired. To meet our customer needs and help the thousands of drivers who avoided an in-person visit due to the public health emergency, DMV will launch the ability to renew your driver license online. This will help alleviate the backlog of people seeking renewals and offer a great online convenience for our customers. For reference, the majority of other state DMVs currently offer a similar online renewal program. Here in Wisconsin, this program will be available to U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 65 that do not have medical restrictions requiring follow-up and have not had a negative change in their vision since the last renewal. Based upon our research, less than 1% of drivers in this age group demonstrate a change in vision. Additionally, drivers in Wisconsin can renew their license up to 12 months in advance. So this online opportunity will be available not only to persons that expired during the pandemic, but to others scheduled to expire in the future as well. And then separate from these pilot programs, I also want to point out some news for people wanting to obtain their instruction permit. Beginning Monday, May 11th, we will be offering knowledge tests in our offices for Class D. That's the regular driver license. Please be aware that additional safety protocols and social distancing standards remain in effect. This is part of our effort to slowly invite additional transactions into our offices. Now I can assist in answering any questions regarding these programs or further discuss the eligibility requirements to take part in these online alternatives beginning May 11th.
Thank you, Kristina. We will now open it up to questions. A reminder to maintain audio quality, keep phones on mute until it's time to ask your question. Please use *6 to mute and unmute your phone. In the interest of time, please one question per reporter. We will begin with Shelley Nelson, Superior Telegram. Shelley Nelson? Okay, we're moving on to Ryan from WTMJ4 News.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm just wondering, you said that there would be additional precautions in place for those who are going to take that in-person road test. What precautions are you putting into place right now?
Our driver test examiners are going to have a seat cover that they put on the seat in the customer's vehicle to protect them and ourselves. They're also going to be wearing protective shields, so we're going to have that personal PPE in effect, and so that the person is feeling comfortable and we can get that road test done.
Thank you. Eric O'Neill, NBC 26.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi there. I had to step out. I might have missed it. Can you just talk a little bit about what this means for like temporary license?
Yes, beginning Monday, May 11th, if anyone needs a permit to drive, they can come into the service center and we will be offering those knowledge tests, which is the first step in obtaining that instruction permit.
Thank you. Daniel Malloy, Spectrum 1. Star 6, Daniel Malloy. Okay, moving on. Cassidy Williams, Fox 6 Now.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess my question is, you mentioned multiple times the 98% pass on the first or second try. So that would assume then some of that 98% fail on their first try. What are the statistics? How many students actually fail on their first try?
It's actually a very high percentage that pass on the first try. I think it's closer to 85%. The ones that fail, oftentimes that is stage fright, and that they're very nervous during that first test. And we also know that parents are often wanting the government to make that decision for them. Some self-regulate and don't allow their student to book that test until they feel that they're ready. So I think there's a variety of factors, but again, between that first and second try, 98% are passing.
Thank you. Emily Thornton, CBS 58, Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm sorry, you might have touched on this, but after, once COVID obviously calms down, are these things that you're going to keep in place, like where a parent could have somebody or could allow their child to waive the driver's test? Is that something that's going to stay in place, or is this just temporary right now because of the situation that we're in?
We plan on keeping this in place for the time being. We do have a significant backlog. We will be making more road test appointment slots available, and our goal is to get through that backlog by July 4th. But we are planning, because of the backlog, on a variety of things to keep these in place for the foreseeable future.
If I could just add.
Got it, thank you.
This is a pilot program, and so we will be, the duration of doing both of these two pilot programs, we will be collecting data and then reporting back to the legislature on that. And it may be a decision to do both of these things permanently, but that'll be based upon the data collected.
Thank you. WLUK. Moving on, Rebecca Ribley, WKOW Madison. Star 6, unmute your phone. Moving on, Sheldon Dutz, WISN TV. Moving on, Brad Williams, WIZM News La Crosse. Hunter McCullough, KBJR 6, CBS 3. Tim Elliott, WMTV, NBC 15. News 3 Now, Channel 3000. Matthew Peters, Wisconsin Eye. Roger Staffaroni, WXOW News 19. And lastly, Corinne Hess, Wisconsin Public Radio. Seeing no other questions, thank you for joining us today for the media briefing. Please continue to monitor WSDOT's COVID-19 webpage for service changes and updates.